Hey guys, this is CholeraSC with Louder here with the winners match from Group B of the ClubDay MSL Round of 32. And here we have Jangbi versus Yellow Arnc. Yarnak's shaking his hands there, but he certainly has not had to play very often, very much at least in today. He beat Flash in about 6 minutes in the first game. Note that he's wearing the lucky shirt that his brother Luxury often wears, and they're going to be playing on a completely new map here in the MSL. This is called Destination. It's an interesting two-player map, and it's basically you have your main base. It has a ramp leading down to your natural expansion that's you can just go down immediately, and there's another ramp with mineral patches that leads to a second expansion, which you can mine out and then pick up. That other expansion though has a ramp leading to a passageway that goes around the map, so it's not as protected as your natural expansion. Here we see Yellow in the Teal in the 5 o'clock location, and Jangbi at the 11 o'clock. I think our predictions were that Jangbi will come out on top on this one, right? And just from the few seconds you've had to take a look at the map, I guess what would your assessment be in terms of who it favors, Protoss or Zerg?
I have actually played this map, and while I don't know who it favors, I have to point out that this is a 2-player map with 10 gas expansions and 12 total bases. Only two of 12 bases are mineral only. So depending on which expansions the Protoss player gets and how aggressively the map gets controlled by either player is really going to set the tone for who's going to have the advantage. Because as you know, a 4-gas Zerg is pretty scary, but if the Protoss also has 4-gas, I think the Protoss is going to be a little scarier, especially when it's Jangbi. I really like the fact that every base on this map has multiple ramps, and there are multiple ways to get all around the map. And I do think that tends to favor Zerg, because Zerg is so strong at countering with drops and just huge front door counterattacks, while they hide behind their imbalanced lurkers and spore colonies back home. So, in any case, I think we can see we'll see a cool game if it goes on beyond the 9-pool kill mark.
Yeah, and I have a feeling Jangbi is going to be well prepared for this. Of course, he does have that scouting probe, and he knows that there is it looks like it was an overpool or a 9-pool. I think it was a 9-pool actually. He has the forge going up. Probably gonna have to build 2 cannons though before going Nexus there. And looks like a drone on probe battle there. Looks like nope, he's not gonna get the probe. This map reminds me a little bit of Shin Peaks of Beidou. Another plug for one of my old but favorite casts I've ever done, Savior versus Naura on Shin Peaks of Beidou. 6-part game, 15 minutes long. Go check it out. It's called the Holy Wars. Anyway, it is worth a watch, I think. Jangbi looks like Yellow did not go for the early gas, so he went for the 9-pool, and now he has an expansion going up. So interesting here. He's not going to go for the all-in speedling attack. Do you think it's a good idea not to go for the speedlings, or at least the fast speedlings on this map?
I think he's fixing to go take a second gas expansion and go for probably a Muta build. This is a really strong map for Muta harassment. There's a huge area behind the main base minerals, and there's that ugly little cliff type formation behind the natural. So that's what I'm expecting to see. I really don't see a lot of benefit in going 9-pool speedlings on this map, because as you see, it's not a really difficult map to block off, and the rush distance, it's not the longest, but it's long enough that, by the time he figures out that there are a lot of Zerglings coming, he's going to be well defended. So I think so far Yellow's making the right choices.
Looks like he's definitely practiced with this map, and he has those 5 Zerglings out, trying to hunt down probably a second probe if there was one, but there isn't. Looks like we're going to see a fairly standard opening here from both players then, with a double expand and with the cannons going up unharassed. What do you think Jangbi's next move will be? Do you think this is a good map being so spread out for Sarah Reaver, or do you think it's actually better for the old school Bisu build?
I think this is definitely a Sarah Reaver map. The same map features that benefit a Mutalisk build tend to benefit a Sarah Reaver approach. So hopefully that's what he'll do, because that's always really fun to watch. Pros have just such insane micro and multitasking when they execute a build like that well, that produces some very entertaining games.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when I try to do Sarah Reaver, I fail horribly. It's the build I hate doing. But how successful do you think, just out of curiosity, foreigners like yourself, top foreigners, are able to pull off that build? Is that one of the more difficult builds that Protoss can do in the mid game against Zerg? in terms of APM and micro?
It's a difficult build. A player like me, my APM peaks out around 220, which I don't really feel is fast enough for the Corsair Reaver. I always feel behind. Oh, and we have a Stargate right away coming up from Jangbi, and also quickly taking his second gas. So he's definitely setting up either for Bisu build or for Sayer Reaver, but I'm still hoping for the Reaver. Back to your question, I think there are some other foreign Protoss players who are a little faster and probably a little better multitaskers than me that can pull it off. I've seen Noni do Sayer Reaver builds very nicely, and Driven and White Raw are a couple of other players that I've seen do it very well. But even when you compare that to the pros, you see lots of issues with the multitasking, just
Hmm.
because managing the Reavers and managing the Corsairs takes a lot of time and a lot of clicks. And here we have a scouting zealot
Absolutely.
that's been pinned behind some minerals by zerglings, and another scouting zealot walking right into the natural expansion of yellow. And if Jangbi
Getting
was
picked.
paying better attention to that zealot, I would think he would have wanted to walk it right into the main and see what was going on, but instead he opted to kill a drone, which I don't really think was the best move.
Do you think he'll actually, with the Spire going up and a very good call there, do you think he'll actually go for Scourge, or do you think just for Scourge and then put the Den down, or do you think he'll actually get enough Mulists to try to do a harassment?
I think we'll know in about 10 seconds if he starts taking more gas. And I
Yeah.
think on the mini map it actually looks like he has taken all three gases now. I think he's going to go Mutalisks. Oh, and Jang B is expecting it. He's got an Archives coming, and he's also thrown down a second Stargate.
But a lot of hatcheries going up, so that is leading, for me at least, to say he's going to make a smaller number of Mutalisks, and instead, yeah, we're just seeing the second gas go up, but he probably will want to switch to a Hydralisks pretty soon, though, if he does see more Corsairs coming. But interesting enough, we've only seen that one Corsair out for Jangbi, and I'm not sure if he's going to be ready for this Mule's harass if it does come. He's so far been just committed to putting up his buildings, putting up his Templar archives, and we're still not seeing gas yet. And so we're going to see, I think, just in my predictions at least, it looks like just Scourge from Yarnak. I think he might have been, if he knew what was going on, I think he might have been better off going for Mulisks.
I'm not sure that Mutalisks would have been the better build, but it really depends a lot on what Protoss does. How safely they play. The way he's playing now, it looks like Mutas may have had the opportunity to do some damage. But whenever it cut back to show two more hatcheries instead of just one more building in the main, I think whenever you see five hatcheries, it's pretty sure bet that they're not going to just go
Right.
Mutas.
Yeah, we're seeing
And
this is
I
seems to be very.
misspoke whenever it cut
Mhm.
to the main base of Jangbi. I said a Stargate, but it was actually a second gateway that was going up. So yeah,
Right.
no two Stargate Corsairs, but I would have liked to see that anyway.
Yeah, we're seeing. I guess he's just gonna focus on hunkering down here, and taking the first blow, I guess, for whatever the Zerg can throw against him. He's got those High Templar coming out, morphing into Archons actually, but we're seeing Lurkers come out also. So he's not going for either Sarah Reaver or Sarah DT, but that's all right. Certainly, it's okay for him right now, and he's actually going to try to pick up that corner expansion there. Already trying to mine it out. Is that corner expansion going to be safe though against the roving Zerg forces that are going to be coming pretty soon? Like, do you think it's a good expansion to take as your second expansion, or do you think the one that Yellow took is a smarter bet?
I would say taking the same expansion that Yellow took would be more easily defensible, but I think his objective will be to take both of those bases at some point.
Hmm.
So, this is a map that very much favors macro play because you're just given four bases right there in very close proximity with something of a common area for defense. You can split your army and cover two bases. And here we have Jangbi trying to go in and do some damage to Yellow, but the lurkers are there. There's one
Yeah.
sunken, about to go down, another building. I think he's just trying to kill what units he can and hopefully run those Archons away before the lurkers finish him off. Looks like he
Yeah.
may
Looks
get some
like
drones though.
He might, and certainly looks like all the sunken colonies are down, and he's going to pick off this one lurker before it manages to go down. So just one lurker left. Jangbi needs to run those Archons, so those Archons seem like they're taking hundreds of hits, but they're probably very low on shields right now. But he's managed to disrupt mining entirely here at the second expansion of Arnc. I don't think he killed that many drones, but he certainly didn't lose that much. He lost one Archon and some Zealots, but certainly worth it. He's forced Yellow to commit a lot there, and like he's going to pick off one drone that might have been picking up that expansion in the corner. So I would call that a successful attack there. And we're going to be seeing more gates thrown up here. Jangbi certainly, I think, has got himself a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, his robotics bay will be up soon, and he did a really nice job with that attack.